Magic Mask, AI, we're going to remove the background and make it transparent so we can replace it with, for instance, a PowerPoint. We're going to use DaVinci Resolve. I have another video where I showed a slow method. So in this video, I'll show the fast method to do this in DaVinci Resolve. So Magic Mask means we take an object like me and then we cut it out of the frame and make the background transparent. So the way we can do this is that we go in DaVinci Resolve, we drag something down to the timeline, and then we have two options. So we have the fusion options, which I went through in another video, and then we have the color tab option, which I'm going to go through in this video. The difference is that when I use the fusion tab, I usually get a little bit better results, but it takes up to 50 times longer to go through that process. It uses the VRAM of the graphic card. When I use the color tab, it usually uses the VRAM, and then it uses the processing power of the chip inside the graphic card. So what we want to do is go into the color tab, and then we're going to find this icon where we have the person and where the background is transparent. That's the AI Magic Mask. So when we pick that, then we can have the option to have a plus or minus. So we want to add something, we want to remove something from the mask. Here we can pick faster or better. Usually I would pick the better option because this is much faster than the other one. When we have the timeline, then as you can see, I have myself here. We will go and pick like the places of the object we want to keep. I want to do this in several places to make sure like I've marked everything. And then if I want to keep like, in this case, I don't want to keep the microphone in the image, but I might want to keep my clicker. So when I have the clicker, I'll go find some places where I can see it, and then I try to click it so it will be masked. The thing here is I can't see what I'm doing so far, so that is kind of like a problem. So what we want to do is we want to, in Windows, click on Shift and H, so that removes the background. So now I can see what I'm actually doing. And the same goes for Mac. So Mac will click the Mac key and then H. When we have this, now we can see what we're doing. If we are happy with the results, we can just proceed and export it. If we are like, it's not really how I want it, then here we can go and then we can change things. So we can go and like change the radius, how close the mask is to the object. We can blur stuff, we can smooth stuff. We can go and clean the blacks or clean the whites. When we are happy with the result, then we can go up and click on the arrow pointing right and pointing left. And then it starts tracking this and removing the background. So in this case, it took me 3 minutes to do this thing for a 3-minute clip. When we're done with that, then it comes up and we have like the square with like a green square, a blue square, and green and blue triangle. So we need to go into the space, right click, and then we need to click on Add Alpha Output. So that creates a blue dot. Then we need to take the blue dot and connect it to the blue square. I was laughing the first time I was doing this. I was like, what is going on here? Right? And then we get like this striped line connecting the blue dot and the blue square. So what we're doing now is that we're connecting this tracked thing to our image. Then we can go back to the edit tab. We just need to be aware, do not edit before you render this. It's the same thing when you're color grading. It's a very good idea if you have multiple clips now and go render it, because it's only stuck with this striped line. So we want to save a new file. So I have the original file where I have the background. Now I've removed the background, but it's not really saved yet. So what we are going to do now is that we're going to save it. So we now have two videos. So we have an original video with a background, and then we have a new video with a transparent background. So what we do is we take our clip, we right click on it, and then we go up and we pick the option that's called render in place. So when we pick that, then we are going to export it. So it's basically the same step. So when you're exporting a video, we're doing the exact same thing, but only for this clip. In this case, we just need to be aware that the codec we use needs to be a transparent one. So we can't pick a codec where the background is solid. We can, but that's not really the point of this. So what we're going to do is in Apple, we're going to go to QuickTime, Apple ProRes, Apple ProRes 422. There might be other options if you don't like this one. And in Windows, we would go to QuickTime, Avid, DNX, HR 10-bit. We can pick other options if we want to do that. I just left the standard settings down below. Then we click render, then it takes whatever time it takes you to render videos. In this case, I have a video that's around 3 minutes long, and it takes around 10 seconds for it to render. Just need to be aware, especially if we're like exporting in the Apple ProRes, that it takes up quite a lot of space on the hard drive. So now you have two versions of the same file, so it takes up double the space. So just be careful with these render files, especially also if you're color grading, that it starts to accumulate on your drive, and then like you're like, where did my space go? Might be there, and then maybe you should put it in the trash can. When this is done, then we can go and then we can edit it without losing this function where the mask, we're not losing the mask. So I can take myself and I can make my small and put myself in the corner. And then there are no more steps except you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a playlist to more ways up here. I have another video link. It's the other video with the slow method, which is quite a lot simpler if you want to watch that. Else, that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.